everybody. It's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, July 23rd, 2023. Take note: how to survive a writer's strike. Sex scenes. No writing required. Just put two sexy actors in front of the camera and watch the crowd go wild. I see you, Y&R. I see that that's the current technique. What a nasty little trick. But it is really working out in our favor, isn't it? I feel just delighted that it is really turning out to be a sizzling summer of sexiness in Genoa City. Kyle and Audra, Sharon and Chance. We got to put a poll on the Sharon and Chance situation right off the bat. YRChat.com. Go vote. Do you think that Sharon and Chance are hot? Were you loving this? Were you like, woof, woof, woof? Somebody turn on the air. Or were you not feeling the heat? Cast your vote this week. I want to know if you guys are liking this couple, because I was really not expecting for Sharon and Chance to wow me. I mean, they have been beating around the bush of this relationship for so long. And finally, they just decided to stop beating around the bush and start beating around the bush. I'm actually really proud of that joke. Just so you know. They decided to stop beating around the bush and start beating around the bush. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a nice little piece of poetry. Patting myself on the back. But I also think that the fact that the sex came with a new set really helped to sell it on me. I was like, oh, we get a new accessory to go with our sex. Thank you. Sex plus new set. All right. Sharon called it her office, but is it an office? I don't know, because it almost looked like an employee break room or something. I saw some employment posters pinned up on the wall right behind where Chance had Sharon pinned up against the rack with her rack on display. Oh my, Sharon. So voluptuous. Oh, I almost forgot what a total and complete bombshell Sharon is. And I mean, I was glad to see her cut loose. It felt good to me. I mean, a girl has got to live. You can only mourn for so long. You can only mourn for so long before you have to start moaning. You can moan, mourn, and moan. First mourn, then moan. That's how it should work. I feel like she completed the waiting period. Now she's free to cut loose. And Chance, I mean, he obviously was completely smitten with her. The way he came back the next day, the eyes that he was giving her, I saw hearts in his eyes. It must be love. Or lust. Either way, I'm good. Oh, I know what the problem with the Newman family is. It's that Victor has let the kids have too much control. Yeah, that's it. Sure. I'm sure it has nothing to do with the fact that Victor is constantly pitting them against each other and then punishing them when they do what he set them up to do and what he himself would have done and did do for years. Well, this time Victor decided that in order to fix the problems in the family, he was going to take back control of both companies. That's Newman Enterprises and Augustus International, aka Scorched Earth. Augustus means scorched earth. But we're keeping that name, apparently. So Victor's taken back control of Newman Enterprises and Augustus, and now he says he's going to start calling the shots. But his shots left basically everything the same, except Adam got completely screwed over in the deal, because Victor decided that rather than taking the company that I gave to you and intended for you to have as your own legacy, you know, the one that I told you that you could have total control over, no questions asked, total autonomy. Okay, well, I'm going to take that and I'm going to make it a subsidiary of Newman Enterprises, and you're going to eventually have to report to Victoria. Okay, well, okay. I mean, Adam should have seen that coming, and I imagine he did see that coming all along, because I kind of wonder, Victor promised Adam autonomy with the new company, and I think Adam had to know all along that it was too good to be true. So right out of the gate, he must have wanted to test Victor by doing the one thing that he knew Victor was not going to stand for, coming after Newman Enterprises. And in Victor's defense, honestly, that's a very bratty thing to do. Adam could have just taken the company and partnered with Sharon or not and made the whole thing a wild smash success for himself and his family and made it into a new legacy. And he could have gotten the revenge that he was seeking by being successful and by being truly independent. And both Nick and Sharon spent the aftermath of Victor's family meeting trying to convince Adam to do just that, and apparently it worked, because at first Adam said, no, I'm not going to take your Victor deal. I'm not going to take the Victor deal. He walked out. He made it seem like he was totally done, but then he later agreed to work with Nick and Sharon at Augustus under Victor and eventually Victoria's thumbs. So doesn't seem like this worked out very well for Adam at all. He just kind of got screwed over and accepted it. Oh, but Victor did promise to give Adam and Sharon and Nick 3 months of autonomy while they're working out the kinks in the new company. What? Again with this? I mean, I thought Adam was supposed to be the smart one here. There is no such thing as autonomy when you work for Victor Newman. I don't know how many times we need to learn this lesson. It's always too good to be true. Victor always has the final say, and he's always going to show preferential treatment to whoever is currently fulfilling his needs at the time, whoever the current preferred child is, which is usually Victoria in recent history. Although, I don't know. Then again, maybe Victor is becoming a little bit more of a softie, because Nick and Sharon and Adam all sat down with Victor to talk about Augustus on Friday and to talk about their plans for this new phantom company that we have. And Adam said, okay, change of plans. I don't want to come after Newman Media. I want to merge Augustus with Newman Media. And Victor was like, well, but what about Audra? Could you believe that? Of all things. Well, what about Audra? Who cares about Audra? Victor, you care about Audra right now? Adam suggests bringing everything together, which is what you're saying. It completely meets your goal. Bringing everything and everyone together for the family. And Victor is thinking, well, wait, but then what happens to the hot new girl? All right, Victor, I'm starting to see through you here. And then to actually give consideration to what might happen to Victoria's boyfriend? Come on. Come on. Are you going to put everybody else above Adam? I mean, is there a family dog that you'd like to put above Adam too? Come on. I loved that the fact that Adam's response, though, to Victor saying that was to tell Victor that, well, what do you care about Audra? She is, quote, utterly dispensable. I loved that Adam said, Audra, she's utterly dispensable. I mean, that kind of indignance coming from Adam just makes me think that maybe, just maybe, Adam might end up getting a chance to have some hot summer sexy fun with a sexy rivalry with Audra. Well, Victoria is very happy these days. Everything's coming up roses for Victoria. She wanted McCall. She got McCall. She wanted Nick out. She got Nick out. She wanted Nate to be her right hand. She got Nate to be her right hand. Okay. The move by Victor just puzzles me. Why would Victor punish Adam for what he did, but then reward Victoria and let her get her way? I mean, Victoria was making decisions that were just as ruthless as Adam. Victoria was getting ready to participate too. I mean, Victoria pushed Nick out of the company and over to Augustus, so that her boyfriend could sit next to her. And yet, at the end of the day, she gets rewarded by keeping her exact same position, keeping her exact same Nate, keeping her boyfriend there with her. And also, Victor validated it all by just sending Nick over to Augustus. It doesn't make any sense. I guess it's just I have to mark it up to plot or whatever, because basically everything is working out really well for Victoria and Nate and Audra, but Nick and Adam got punished. I don't know. Victor was definitely very quick to let Victoria know that this was not a punishment for Adam, even though it completely looks like it. This was not a punishment for Adam, and this was not a reward for you, Victoria, even though it completely looks like it. And then he also gave her this hug, and they had this very tender moment together. She's clearly the preferred one. He's clearly going to let her get away with anything, with literally the same things and worse. She's the one. He needs her, is what it is. He needs her. He believes he needs her. So he tells her how proud of her he is. But he also warned her about her behavior. He said something to her like, well, you have to be careful acting like this. You have to be careful acting like this because one day you're going to look back in the mirror and you're going to not like what you see. I mean, she kicked Nick out. And he just let her get away with it. But I think the fact that he said that about looking in the mirror is somehow foreshadowing of Victoria's downfall. I think Victoria is only for now doing good. I think everything seems great now, but I predict that Victoria is going to end up getting too comfortable and too controlling, just like her father, and it's going to end up biting her in the buns. So, Kyle, the abbot, is working at Newman, and Summer, the Newman, is working at Jabot. Something is wrong here. A little bit wrong here, or maybe it's right. Depends. Something feels wrong, though, to me. And it's not just the perfume all over Kyle's body. I cannot even tell you how much I loved that Summer could smell the perfume on his body. Ooh, that is for real. A woman's sense of smell can be very acute. And if you catch a whiff of perfume or hairspray or whatever on your man, as far as I'm concerned, that evidence is admissible in court. Throw the book at him, Your Honor. So it was great that she said, is that perfume I smell on you? And then she went back to the hotel. She saw Audra sitting at the bar and out of instinct walked up to Audra just to compare. And the look on Summer's face as she breathed in the betrayal. Oh, that was a real moment for me. I felt it. And Summer almost looked woozy, like she felt lightheaded when she could sense that the scents matched. Oh, that was so good. Ooh, and then she confronted Kyle and she asked him point blank if he had slept with Audra, and he confirmed it. He said, yeah, I did. Now you know the truth. And he said it in the most contemptful way possible, which told me and told her that calling it a separation was only ever just a ploy. I mean, letting Summer think that there was any possibility that they could fix the relationship was really quite cruel when he knew that it was over. He knew deep down that it was over, or maybe he knew on the surface that it was over. I guess he just realized that he could stick it to Audra and stick it to Summer at the same time. I didn't think Kyle had it in him. Well, when Summer realized it, she smacked him. That was great. I think it looked like a real smack too. No camera tricks. I get the feeling that the actress really slapped the actor, and it felt so good. I mean, I have wanted to smack Kyle so many times. So I really appreciated this opportunity to live vicariously. I've never slapped anybody. And I cannot imagine that I would. I mean, unless I was in some form of physical danger, of course. It's just not something I don't think I would do. And I'm hard pressed to say that I think Kyle deserved it. I mean, I don't think he deserved it. I don't want to go that far, but I do think it's a cruel thing that he did. But then again, it was a cruel thing also for Summer to let Kyle think one thing when the truth was actually another. Summer then also had her chance to confront Audra, which was great. I only want to see it once, though. Sort of similar to Elena. I'm okay with the first confrontation. I'm not going to need a bunch of follow-up confrontations, though. Let's get this out of the way. Let's say everything snarky that we need to say. And then I'm okay with a little bit of a, maybe a comment here and there, but I don't want to see her going out of her way to start poking at Kyle and Audra. I actually liked Audra's response to it. Audra was very flip about it all. She was like, girl, get over it. So wrong. So wrong, but so right. Because Summer is not over it. Summer had this great conversation with Chelsea on Friday, too, where Chelsea said, I think he has shown you with his actions that he's not coming back and that it is over and that you need to start moving on. But, at the point when Summer was at the table with Audra, she was definitely not over it and not moving on. She walked right up to Audra, let her have it. And then as she walked away, Summer said, oh, by the way, you use too much perfume. It smells cheap. Maybe Kyle can get you a discount at Jabot still. That was so good. Burn. Burn, Birdie. Burn, burn, burn. I love that. I also loved how Diane reacted knowing what Kyle was doing, because Diane was in the background when all of this happened, and she was giving Kyle the eye, like, I see what you're doing. It's really amazing how supportive Diane has been of Summer, and I really enjoyed the heart-to-heart that they had very early in the week where they both kind of realized that they had some things in common. There's the old version of themselves, and then there's the new version of themselves, and that seemed like an interesting point, an interesting connection to make, and it makes me wonder if that means that Summer is not going to be above using Harrison to try to get Kyle back, because it was almost intimated even in the conversation between Summer and Audra. Audra's like, look, I'm not interested in your family. I don't want your kid. I'm not even into kids. Like, I don't want to be a stepmom. I'm just having fun. But I kind of almost wonder if Summer is going to be using Harrison as a little bit of a ploy to try to get Kyle back or to get back at Kyle, either way. And it is the same way that Diane did with Jack all those years ago. Diane was constantly using Kyle as a way to get back together with Jack or to get under Phyllis's skin. So I think maybe there's a storyline connection there. Yeah, the old me, the new me. I was thinking a lot this week about the whole I'm just not that person anymore trope, like based on that scene. And I think in reality what they should start saying, or what we would say in reality is, well, I wouldn't make that mistake again. And I think that's what Diane was saying in her scene with Summer. Rather than just saying, I'm not that person anymore, I wouldn't make that same mistake again. Everybody makes mistakes. You're supposed to learn from them. But in the case of Kyle and Summer, I don't know. I can't see it getting any better now. Especially not with Phyllis on the loose. A free bird. Out on bail. I also appreciated the moment when Kyle was trying to be sneaky, leaving Audra's hotel room. They opened up the door and Nate was standing right there like, oh, it's Kyle's first day at Newman Media tomorrow and Audra's already sleeping with him. But Nate didn't judge. Nate didn't judge. And I think that is an important check mark in Nate's favor. Everyone is judging Nate's relationship with Victoria, saying that they can't be together or shouldn't be together, or the relationship is somehow a problem because they share a work environment. But now, in that moment, Nate has an opportunity to do the same thing that everyone's been doing to him and judge Audra over her relationship with Kyle. But Nate didn't do it. He didn't say a word about it. All he said was, it's none of my business unless it affects my business. Right on, Nate. Nobody has a right to tell you who to sleep with, especially not Lily. And by the way, Lily, beige is not boring. Beige is classic. Beige is so classic that our modern minds just can't handle it. See my book. I'll be publishing a new ebook. It's called In Defense of Beige. I like beige. Thank you very much. Oh, well, Nate is not the only one who got tipped off about Kyle and Audra's relationship this week, because Tucker saw a hookup message text on Audra's phone. Is it possible for Tucker to be any more entertaining? I don't even think it is. He's reached peak comedic amazingness. He's really filling in the comedic space on Y&R. I mean, I feel like they're just turning on the camera and letting him go, because nobody told him to make a comment about the word mollusk. That was not in a script. There's no way. Trevor St. John is just doing it. And he is killing it. There's just so much. When he gave Audra that hug, I screen capped it. It was just this really, he gave her the hug. It was all so drunk and happy. Oh, it was so good. Just fun. Bringing joy to my screen. I don't know if things are going to be working out for Tucker quite the way he thinks they are, though. I feel like Tucker may be winning some battles, but I'm just not quite so sure that he is winning the war for Ashley's heart. But he may be getting closer. Ashley told Tucker this week that she no longer wants to use their wedding as a showboat for Jack and Diane. She told Tucker that she is falling in love with him again, and she wants to have a wedding for them that is real, really, really real. And in the previews for next week, Abby and Devon are inviting Ashley and Tucker to have their wedding at the Chance Manch. Yay! That would be amazing if I believed it was actually going to happen. I don't know. I don't trust it. I just don't trust Ashley. Because only a couple episodes prior, she was being cold as a cucumber with Tucker. She was almost seeming like she wanted to wiggle away from him because he was trying to press her about the wedding plans, and all she really wanted to think about was what was going on with Jack. She got that phone call that said that Jack is up to something in New York, and then suddenly she's telling Tucker that she's in love with him and she wants to get married. I don't know. I wonder if Ashley fears that Jack has some kind of plan that will outsmart her, and maybe she's just trying to seal the deal with Tucker so that she doesn't end up losing the only real ally that she has, and so that she doesn't end up losing everything she has. Phyllis and Diane holding hands at the restaurant table like they were on a date. And then Tucker putting in his hands too. I mean, that had to have been the scene of the week, right? As if anyone is buying Phyllis and Diane's lip service, that they forgive each other and all is well. Truce? Psh. Psh. Phyllis and her freedom is apparently Ashley and Tucker's ace in the hole. And Tucker has already been threatening Phyllis to get down to business. Get to the business of gaining Jack and Kyle's forgiveness. And also get to the business of annoying Diane as much as possible. I do not see how this serves their Jabot takeover plan. Tucker and Ashley are hoping that Diane just gets so annoyed with Phyllis that she'll go away? Or are they hoping that Jack will go back to Phyllis and dump Diane in the dust? I mean, which would be worse, having Jack with Diane or having Jack with Phyllis, Ashley? I almost think like Diane would be the lesser of those two evils. Diane may have faked her own death, but at least she's never been homicidal. That I can remember. I loved this week how we were reminded of the time that Phyllis tried to run Paul and Christine over with a rental car. Oh, this is, by the way, is way number 2 that soaps are trying to survive the writers' strike. Flashbacks. I mean, some of them are good, some of them are not. Like, look, I didn't need to see a flashback of Billy and Chelsea sitting in the same positions in the coffee house that they were prior. It was like the current scene of Chelsea and Billy, and then Chelsea having a flashback of them sitting in the same position. It was the same scene, only they were wearing different outfits. And I was like, wait a minute, did this scene just happen? No, this is a flashback. Okay, fine, a flashback. All right, I guess. The Christine and Phyllis flashback, though, that was so satisfying. First of all, Christine looked like a tanned Greek goddess, showing Phyllis the receipts and just her beautiful blue eyes and everything about her. She was so gorgeous. All she needed was a toga and like set her on a marble pedestal or something. She's so beautiful. She was and is beautiful. And Phyllis looked so different to me somehow. I don't know if you guys get that feeling when you see Phyllis in the flashbacks. Michelle Stafford must have just changed so much throughout the years, but she also was very gorgeous in the flashbacks too, and I loved her little side-parted, cute little short haircut that she had back then. So yeah, I mean, Phyllis was gorgeous and indignant, of course, like taking no responsibility at all for anything that she had done, as usual, right? It was the same thing. Phyllis having done something wrong and taking no responsibility for it. I feel like I'm wanting more of the Phyllis and Christine rivalry, and I'm not really getting it. The one scene at the athletic club was not enough. I mean, thank you so much for the scenes, but I need more. I want Chris to literally throw the book at Phyllis. I mean, maybe just cut loose. I would love to see Christine cut loose some of that classic composure where she's always got it together. I really just love to see everything in her life has come to a boil and she just loses it on Phyllis. I mean, this could be a whole new era of Christine if we played it right. Heather mentioned something when she was talking to Christine about how Paul is in Portugal, and I don't know, he seems like he's still searching for something. It makes it sound like Paul left Christine because he was having some kind of midlife crisis or something. He's out searching for something, says Heather. Yeah, a job. And how's about a little respect? Well, congratulations to Melissa Claire Egan. I read an article that she just had her baby boy. And you could really see her baby bump under the table on Friday's episode. I do appreciate that Y&R doesn't bother going to ridiculous lengths to hide a pregnancy anymore. I think the viewers can handle it. What I'm starting to tire of, and what I'm really not handling right now, is the explosions of new businesses in this town with absolutely no offices to work in. This is really bothering me. Friday was Chelsea's first day at Marchetti, and did she go to the office? No. She went to the coffee house. Kyle also had his first day at Newman Media, and did he go to the office? No, he went to the athletic club. Sharon and Adam and Nick had a business meeting too. In their lush office tower? No, at the jazz club. And Ashley and Tucker building a brand new business, but everything is done in the Abbott living room. I'm sorry, but it just has made the fact that there's no offices really makes the business storylines way less engaging to me. It feels like all talk right now. Nothing happens. There isn't even the faintest illusion of something actually happening in any of these businesses. And you guys know that I love business storylines more than anything. I mean, that is my favorite type of story on Y&R, but I really think we have jumped the shark with it. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but what I wouldn't give right now for just an old-fashioned courtroom saga. You know? I mean, and we have this perfect opportunity for it right now. I think we need to put Phyllis Summers on trial. Why not? Put her on trial, drag everyone in town into it, bring back some people from Phyllis's past to testify on the stand, and let Christine destroy her. Let's see it. Let's let Phyllis have a chance to be on trial, and then maybe to have some real redemption. Maybe let Phyllis see the error of her ways, of course, returning to her bad girl self later on down the road. But I think we need to let the viewers see her fry, and then let the viewers see her cry, and let the viewers see her fly like the grand phoenix that she is. That would be far more interesting to me than a bunch of new businesses that don't do anything except sit around and have coffee. Hate is as strong as love. Who said it? You know, it was Phyllis. And it's perfect, because I think that's exactly how the viewers feel about her. I think you either love Phyllis or you hate her. Put her on trial. It's perfect. It would be so much soapy drama. Goodness, I want to see the courtroom. I mean, come on. I don't need you to build up a bunch of office sets then. Just build a courtroom set and let's dump these extra businesses. But anyway, hate is as strong as love. Phyllis said it. And Henry, Karen, Elise, David, Kayla Rose, Erica, Brittany, wonderful Wendy, Victoria, good old Marky, Jamie, and Kamna. You guys got it. A lot of people guessed that, you know. I mean, people are listening to what Phyllis says. Hate is as strong as love. Let's see if you heard this line from the week. Who said it? Live and let live. Live and let live. Do you know? Or live and let die. Guns N' Roses. How about that? Live and let live is the quote. And if you think you know who said it, you should go to yrchat.com to leave your guess. And if you guess it right, then I will give you your shout out during next week's Y&R Chat. Still on the topic of Phyllis, Jamie says, yes, my favorite flame-haired tornado of a character is back home where she belongs. I'm so freaking happy to see my girl on screen again. Love her, hate her, or love to hate her, Phyllis brings the spice and drama to every storyline she's involved in. Yes, I couldn't agree more. And that's why I think it would be super big drama to put her on trial, because all the fans who hate Phyllis can really connect with all of the reasons why she should go to prison. And all of the fans who, you know, love her and want her to stay on the show can say all the reasons that we'll really get into, I think, also the redemption part of it too. Like, it just seems like that would be a great way to go. She was such a big part of the 50th anniversary season, like those big episodes. The 50th anniversary was around her fake death. Why not now follow it up with a trial? Big drama for a big personality with big results, and really leave us biting our nails as to whether or not she will go to prison, because she's been away for weeks now. They could have sent her to prison for a couple of weeks and then had her get off on some cuckoo magoo whatever. I mean, but because I mean, the fact that she's out on bail itself is ridiculous. They could try her, convict her, send her to prison, let the actress take a month of a break, and then say, oh, they're mistrial. She's back. And that's all they'd have to do. But give us the drama of convicting her. Wouldn't that be fun? Gary would love it. Gary says, my blood is boiling. Phyllis out on bail with it not even being a plot point. She just is. As I recall, Diane could not get bail when she was considered a flight risk for an exit she made 30 years ago. As of 1 day ago, Phyllis has been hiding out from the law right under their noses to avoid arrest. Phyllis is an embarrassment to the GCPD because she makes them look dumb. She is some queen bee. The only happy news is that she has a flunky lawyer who's pretending to believe her client deserves to be free. Christine finally showed some savvy in conceding, well, maybe Jeremy's death was self-defense. But what about Phyllis's other crimes? My point exactly. Yeah, you know, isn't it interesting how all the other crimes just got sweep under the rug? And those are the ones that matter to me. Like, as a viewer, I don't care. I know she didn't kill. We saw her kill Jeremy in self-defense. So I'm not rooting. Of course I don't want her to get convicted of murder. I mean, that part of the trial is a big whatever. It's all the other stuff. It's the faking of the death. It's all of the evidence she planted along the way. That's what I would like to see her pay for. And that's what soaps are. You're setting somebody up to do a bad thing, and then you got to see them get punished. I mean, it's the cycle of soaps. And if the viewers don't get to see Phyllis get punished, I think the character suffers in the long run. I mean, look at Diane constantly getting punished like she's the town pariah. No one will let her forget any of it. And at least Diane had to wear an ankle monitor. Phyllis is just out and about. That Tucker McCall is a miracle worker. Last week I asked you guys, do you want Phyllis to go to prison? 56% of you, the majority, say yes. Lock her up. 44% though say, no, don't send my girl to prison. Robin says, yes, I want Phyllis and Summer in orange jumpsuits. They should do a new women in prison storyline with Lily counseling them to repent. That could be interesting. Phyllis and Summer in orange, side-by-side orange jumpsuits. And yeah, okay, hold on. As soon as Phyllis was supposed to be arrested, didn't Chance tell Summer that she was going to be arrested too? So what about Summer? Is Summer ever going to get arrested, or are we just going to forget about that? This hasn't been handled all that well. And I don't know if it has to do with the writer's strike or not. I don't know how much soaps really are affected by that, because I think soap writers are under a different kind of contract, maybe. I'm not totally sure, but it's not great. The Phyllis thing has not been handled very good. Ron says it's a yes for me. I enjoy Phyllis, but she needs a reality check and a change in storyline. Going to prison would fix both issues, in my opinion. But Southside Granny says no, it was self-defense without a doubt. Phyllis doesn't have it in her to do outright murder. Well, except for the car thing. Except, though, for which did totally try to run Christina Paul over with the car. I mean, that was definitely murder. Would have been murder if she would have succeeded. But yeah, self-defense without a doubt. That's the thing. The murder part of it is such a big plot point because we all know it was self-defense. Duh, we all saw it. It's everything else that's the problem. Naomi says, I finally decided to vote no. Don't send Phyllis to prison. Because she's now in a prison without bars because Tucker has total control of keeping her out. It'll be a good story to watch her deal with his demands. Yeah, he didn't waste any time before he was ready to call in that favor, huh? Marianne V voted no, saying Phyllis is more interesting interacting with the other players. She's been gone long enough being on the run. Heather will get her off, and Tucker's plan of the EMS guy saying he saw her kill Stark in self-defense will guarantee that she gets off to cause more trouble for Diane and Summer and Daniel. Yeah, I know, right? And you know, Phyllis is going to be pointing most of her energy toward fixing Summer's life. Oh, goodness gracious. Because she was very quick to tell Tucker, I'm not going to use my daughter in any of this. So you know Phyllis is going to have her number one agenda is going to be Summer and Kyle. Her number two agenda is going to be Diane. By the way, happy birthday, Marianne V, on Thursday. I hope you have a beautiful birthday filled with Mrs. Martinez's muffins. Ashley came out of the kitchen with that plate of muffins, fresh baked, and she offered it to Diane. I loved that little scene too. Ashley and Diane sitting there. Ashley's kind of picking at her muffin, and Diane's having a little bit of coffee, and they were just kind of going tit-and-tatting back and forth about the little things, trying to pretend to be friends. But I wish I could take a birthday candle, stick it in one of Mrs. Martinez's muffins for you, Marianne B. Well, speaking of Diane, Henry says, it was a priceless look on Tucker's face when he was expecting a cat fight between Diane and Phyllis, but it did not happen. Diane handled that perfectly. Yeah, and Gary says, I love how Diane's goodness drives the little people wild. Yeah, I think Y&R gave us the park fantasy sequence where Diane told Phyllis off. That was sort of to tide us over. That was the alternate view, or the alternate, the way alternate things could have gone down. Because what we really got in reality was them being unusually kind to each other. Well, Victoria says, I can see Daniel's Mother's Day card for next year. It goes like this. Thanks, Mom, for showing me how to use guilty manipulation to get my way. If I ever need advice to make a situation worse, I can always count on you. I cannot thank you enough for teaching me how to turn my bad deeds back on others so that I look like the victim. There has never been a more smothering mother ever. Love, Daniel. Ooh, Victoria, you nailed it. And Sherrod says, I appreciate Daniel so much. He knows exactly who his mother is, but that doesn't mean he doesn't love her. Just not willing to get involved with her lies and schemes, unlike Summer. Yes, let's do some Daniel appreciation this week. Sue W. says, I appreciate Daniel too, all because of Michael G. I don't recall being particularly impressed with the actor on his first go-around all those years ago, but I'm all in on him now. He nails every thought and emotion, but never overacts, and somehow makes the silly Omega Sphere seem valid and believable. Now that's talent. I think he's great. Yeah, I like this point too, that he doesn't overact. Yeah, everything he says is very chill, understated. It feels natural, comfortable. And by the way, it's a nice composition next to Lily, who is also very calm and who has great reactions. They seem to listen to each other, and there's a nice, comfortable vibe between them that I agree I've really come to appreciate too. And I also, as Victoria and Sherrod said, appreciate Daniel, the character's perspective on his mother. He knows she isn't perfect. He loves her anyway, but he's not going to go down with her ship the way Summer did. Naomi says, I welcomed back the old school plot device of my man smells like perfume, but it's not my fragrance. Lipstick, but not my shade. Another good one. I know Kyle was wrong. He should have waited for official papers before moving on, but he did make it plain that they were separating when he asked Summer to move out. I don't think he's enjoying hurting Summer. I do think he's surprised by how easily he forgets about Summer when Audra is around. Oh, that's a nice point, Naomi, that you don't think it was malicious or intended to hurt Summer. It's just one of those things that kind of happened, and he realized that he's just not thinking about Summer when Audra. Now he's got his eyes on Audra, and it was easier for him to move on than he thought. And in fact, he said to Billy this week, I feel liberated. Billy said, wow, I've had a lot of breakups, and I've never called one liberating. The only thing that sticks the thorn in my side is the fact that it was a separation, and separation is a legal, it's a legal status for a relationship, right? I mean, you can file a legal separation, which is different from a divorce. So if Kyle knew it was over, why didn't he just file for the divorce? Did he think that maybe there was a chance of fixing it? And if he did, why didn't he try? Or maybe he was thinking that down the road he would feel differently. I'm not sure. The separation part is what throws me off. If he knew it was done and he wanted her to move out, just get the divorce, man. Because Summer kept saying, you didn't have the nerve to tell me. You didn't even have the nerve to tell me. You knew it was over and you didn't have the nerve to tell me. And he didn't deny that, by the way. He didn't deny it. Daisy says, I don't get Kyle's indignation toward Summer. She was trying to help her mother in an unspeakably difficult situation. His mother faked her death for years, and he's forgiven her. Or maybe he hasn't. Maybe Kyle is deflecting the pain his mother has caused him for all those years onto Summer. And he doesn't even realize he's doing that yet. Yeah, that's a great point. Something does seem up, and maybe it's just plot related. I don't know. But as Summer said to Chelsea, I didn't do this to Kyle. I did this for my mother. Why can't he even try to see that? He can't even try to see that. And I kind of agree, I guess, in a little bit of that is he really didn't try. I don't think he really tried. And that's okay. He doesn't have to. But then if you're not going to try, why not just do a divorce instead of the separation thing? I just don't get it. Ellen says, Summer has joined the everything is Diane's fault cult. I guess that's easier than honest self-reflection and accepting that your mother is a malignant narcissist. But now Summer has Chelsea to talk to. Yay. Chelsea is a very balanced, mature, and emotionally stable person. She will be a rock for Summer, no doubt, for at least a week. Yeah, I surprisingly really did enjoy the scene with Chelsea and Summer. I don't remember them being close before. I didn't remember Summer modeling Chelsea's clothes for Jabot. I never felt that they were friends before, so that's a little out of the blue for me. But as soon as they sat down, I felt like there was a very natural chemistry there. I liked that Chelsea just could tell that she was looking at someone who was going through something. She understands that the roles are changing. Summer was used to working with Kyle and living with someone, being married to someone, and also working with them. And now your whole world is rocked because both he's gone at home and he's gone at work. It's a big deal. Chelsea seemed to recognize that immediately and said, it's not my place, but you look like maybe you need to talk. And if you do, I'm here. She didn't push her opinion onto Summer at all. She just was there. The only thing she said was at the end where, maybe this might come off harsh, but I think he showed you what he felt. You got to trust that he knows what he's saying and knows what he's doing. And if he tells you it's over, it's over. And so I also appreciated the specific advice that Chelsea gave to Summer. I think it was right on. And I will continue, I think, to like seeing their friendship as it develops, as long as it develops in an office too. Friendship, yes, but we got some work to do, and we're gonna need a space to do it in. Sharon W. says, I was loving the meeting Victor called, where he said, I call the shots. I lay down the law. I thought he was going to take back the reins of power from Victoria for once. But she still comes out, smelling like a rose, and Adam had better comply to Victor or be ousted again. Victoria treats Adam worse than Sally treats him, and Victor talks about family, but always treats Victoria better than both Nick and Adam. For the first time, I am so angry at Victor, but I love Eric Braeden. Yeah, I mean, when he said, I'm taking control, you're right. I thought it meant that he was going to be the leader, but no, all he did was change Adam's role. It didn't really affect anybody else except Adam. Tina says, that Victor really burns me up. He starts out pouting about Adam not wanting to be a real member of the family to Nikki, and then he rips the rug out from under Adam and forces him to bow down under the Ice Princess. Ugh. So many potential stories just flushed down the commode and back to the same scenario. Yes, same scenario. It's like it goes in loops. Adam is going to Victoria. They're going to have a rivalry, and then we're not. Adam's going to get Augustus, and then he's not. And now he is. It's like a loop, and it's just not amounting to anything. Ellen says, yeah, but I loved that Adam called Victor's bluff and walked out the door on him. Nick and Victoria knuckled under his strong-arm tactics, but Adam just gave him a look of disgust and walked. Well, yeah, but then he buckled too. Victoria and Nick didn't lose anything. Adam's the one that got screwed over in that deal, and his reaction to walk out the door was correct. Victor promised him that company with complete autonomy, and then he ripped it out as soon as Adam didn't do what he wanted. It's like, duh! Of course Victor was going to do that, but then the second that Victor did that, Adam should have been gone. Gone! For good. But he ended up turning around, and now he's right under Victor's thumb again, and soon to be under Victoria's thumb again. It just doesn't feel like Adam would or should do that. But Sherrod says, well, what if Victor's bluff is called? Victor stated that Adam's company would be folded into Newman Enterprises once it's up and running, which means Adam still has time to run it himself, alongside with Sharon's help. And if they're successful enough, they could then stop Victor from getting his hands on it. success is sometimes the best revenge. Okay. That's a possibility. And a good question. Adam did ask for that 3 months. Is he going to come up with something in 3 months? Does Adam have a larger plan here? Daisy says Victor may be keeping Nate and Audra on to help his sons unite. Nick doesn't trust Nate and will be keeping an eye on him. Adam doesn't trust Audra and will be keeping an eye on her. Victor knows this and believes that his sons will protect the family company together. Also, I'd love to see what Nate and Audra would do after they're forced out of Victor's company by his sons. Oh, okay. And here's another question. Okay, well, so does Victor have a larger plan here? Is he specifically wanting to keep Audra and Nate in place as a way to bring Adam and Nick together? Okay, that's a good possibility. The only thing is just this whole part of the show is lagging for me right now. But Kamna says 3 things I'm digging right now. Number 1, the power trio. Now that's Nick and Sharon and Adam. And yeah, they look good in those scenes together. I do like seeing them all 3 together. Number 2, sexy and wise Billy. Oh yes, I mean Billy, I was just thinking this week, God, he is charming. When he had the bracelet for Chelsea and he came up to the table and he had the gift bag and he sort of like shimmied the gift bag to her and so, like almost made it look like the gift bag was dancing toward her. I thought, damn. If he came up to me with a little dancing gift bag, I might just have to relent. And then number 3, what do we call that? Is it Chance or Sharon? I think I accidentally said Sharon earlier. Is it Chance or Sharon is a good question, Kamna. Which do you like better, Chance or Sharon? I think I like Chance. Well, maybe we should vote on that. But yeah, I'm liking that part of the show too. Ellen says this is more like it. This is love in the afternoon, old school style. I am distracted again, needing to rewind. Are there any plot points to miss or just interesting choreography? Wow, Sharon, you make 50-something look amazing. I love that title. Love in the Afternoon. Nails it. Love in the Afternoon. Give it to me, love in the afternoon. And they are nailing it in exactly that way. Sharon W. says, I would love to see Sharon get back with Nick or Adam. But I have to say the scene between Chance and Sharon was hot. I don't feel Kyle has anything over Chance. And Chance and Sharon were a lot hotter than Chance and Abby were. I also wanted to add that I read Sharon Case's profile years ago where she said she works to keep her weight at 112 pounds. You could not see an ounce of body fat on her. She looks great. And this encourages me to restart my exercise program. Yeah, good. Yes. I mean, she definitely takes care of herself and it was clear. But you're also making a good point that, dang, Chance looked pretty good there too. And I mean, it's been a while since we've seen Chance be anything but kind of angry. And so seeing him happy and passionate was very nice. And it's the same with Sharon. Both of these characters really have had their passions kind of squashed. They haven't had many opportunities to let it out. They've had some hard knocks over the past year. And here they just kind of crashed together. And for me, it worked. Tina says Sharon's turning up the heat. She is absolutely giddy around Chance. And man, Connor Floyd is sexy. I'm okay with the age gap here. Sharon Case looks amazing for any age. I say let her have some fun. She's been pouring coffee and listening to people's problems for what seems like years. It does seem like years. And, actually the age gap did not occur to me. Maybe we talked about it before when they first started becoming friends, but the age gap did not even enter into my consciousness. But Sherrod says, I wish I could have enjoyed Sharon getting her groove back, but all I could think about was the actors' real ages. Connor Floyd's only 29. His character's supposed to be 35. And as great as she looks, Sharon Case is 52. Her character's 47. Even though age-wise, it's okay for the characters. There's a 23-year age gap in the actors. I'm sorry, but that's too much. It's a no from me. Just like Nick and Sally, I thought it was going to be Chance and Summer. They're more age-appropriate. Well, see, I thought it was going to be Chance and Summer, too. And not because of age, but just because it seemed like Y&R was building that up, and they had kind of let Chance and Sharon go. They had their first date like 2 months ago, and then they didn't have hardly any contact. Most of Chance's contact within the last 2 months has been with Summer, and then boom, out of the blue this week, he just turns it around and sleeps with Sharon. I don't think they knew where they were going with any of this. Connie says, old school thoughts on Sharon and Chance. I thought the back office sofa encounter, followed by throwing clothes and heels to answer the door, was tacky. I would have preferred that she have a more dignified romantic encounter after the death of Ray. Sharon is a lady of style, and this was missing the classic romance that she deserves. Oh, Connie, you're the voice of reason here, aren't you? Because I can see this point. It was definitely rushed and kind of out of nowhere, and I guess I'm just justifying it because Sharon went through the whole trauma with Cameron, and I just imagine that she needed to blow off some steam somewhere other than with the espresso machine. Have you guys noticed that espresso machine's really getting used? I love the way Y&R has been filming that. Somebody comes up to the counter, Sharon takes their order, she turns around, she gets ready to start making something in that espresso machine. The camera cuts away with her, goes away because she's not really making anything, and then it comes back and she's doing the serving. So I actually really like the way Y&R films Sharon work in the espresso machine, fill in the drinks, and serving from the counter. That, to me, looks really good, works really well, adds a great element of realism to the coffee house. The coffee house is a fully fleshed out set. We don't see food coming out at Society very often or the Athletic Club very often, but I think they do a good job with that. I also noticed in the scene with Heather and Christine, Y&R did show some movement on their meal. They had wine with their dinner, and then scene goes to commercial, comes back, and now they have their water glasses, so you can see that they're making the food disappear little by little in between the scenes, commercial cuts, and they're doing some interesting on-camera, non-cutting work with Sharon serving from the counter just by moving the camera focus to the person in front of the counter and then coming back to Sharon and so showing her serving. But yeah, the coffee house is my favorite public set, always. Diana says, who knew that what looked like a very tiny backroom kitchen at Crimson Lights was actually a rather large and cozy lovemaking nest? Sharon has been holding out all of these years. I loved it. The brick walls, yes, and the 70s looking couch. Oh, brick walls, hold on, pause, because yes, the brick wall was consistent. Thank you. I noticed that. The 70s looking couch. Sharon's office is the perfect place for her and Chance to have a quickie in the middle of the afternoon when they can't keep their hands off of each other. I'm so glad we're seeing Chance more often. He's a good actor and very nice on the eyes. I like him and Sharon together for now. They have a lot of chemistry, and we get to see a different side of Chance, where he's happier and more outgoing. I look forward to seeing more of Chance and Sharon interacting. It's hard to believe that we've not had a lovemaking scene in the coffee house. I mean, have we? Because we have been behind that door before. That set is a little bit of a mystery. What's behind the coffee window rotating door? It's finally been revealed. We've seen Sharon walk in there to get stock or take a phone call. We have seen behind that door before, but it is certainly more fleshed out now. It's an office, we know now, and a break room, and a sex room. The only question I have left is where is the kitchen and the oven where Sharon does her daily cinnamon roll baking. Oh my goodness, everybody. What a lark. Sex is just fun. It's just fun. It's not heavy. You know, I mean, we don't have to think about who's going to take over control of what's and the whatnots. I mean, I'm a simple girl. And I feel very pleased with, you know, as you call it, love in the afternoon. That makes me happy. And I do wonder how much of it is related to the writer's strike. I don't know if it's that or if Y&R is making a conscious effort to give us a sizzle in summer. But, I mean, that is my top story of the week. Y&R is giving us the sizzle, and I really appreciate it. I think it's a nice break from all of the phantom business storylines that are going on the show right now. I'm loving that. I'm also loving the romance. I would love to believe that Ashley and Tucker's romance is real. So I'm loving the sex. I'm loving the romance. Like, love is good. Just drop the businesses for now. We need a break. Give us some good courtroom drama. Take us back to the 90s. Put Phyllis on trial like she's OJ or something. You know, make it a big deal. Bring in a bunch of people from the past. Like, this was the 50th season of Y&R, and it seemed like this was going to be a big story. Phyllis fakes her own death, and I kind of think it's fizzled. I'm not sure that everything and anything having to do with Phyllis's death storyline has really panned out to be all that mind-blowing. I'd say give us a courtroom, put her on trial, convict her, send her to prison, and then get her off on a technicality a couple weeks later. But that's drama. That's drama for me. And then in the peripherals, just the sex, and love and sex, courtroom drama. A little bit of business is good, but you've overdone it, Y&R. You've overdone it. Hopefully that message will be received. But it won't. Rest assured. Well, you guys go to yrchat.com this week and please vote in the Sharon and Chance poll. Let me know if you're feeling the hotness. Let me know also what you're thinking about this Phyllis, courtroom idea. Anything else that you have to say about the show. Oh, look through the photos. Because, oh, by the way, I got screen caps of Sharon and Chance from all the different angles. Last week I got a bunch of Kyle and Audra, so there's a lot of photos to view there if you'd like to review the week in photos and previous weeks too. You can do the quotes there. You can chat with everybody there. Get in a comment and maybe get your comment into next week's Y&R Chat where I'll read it aloud. Again, that's yrchat.com, and I will be back next Sunday for another one of these chats. I love you guys. I hope you have a really good week.